Hello and welcome back to another video from Quick Action, and lots to talk about today because the second test is starting very soon and we've got lots to cover because some big changes are expected for certainly for England and a few for India as well. So hi Jermaine, what do you make of the upcoming second test? Do you think England will be able to carry on with their momentum, or are India going to come back and do a lot better?
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say India will come and do much better, but I just realised it's going to be at the same venue, isn't it, at Chennai? So I think once again it will be decided on the toss, isn't it? So whoever wins the toss is going to most likely win the match.
Yeah, the toss was a massive factor, wasn't it? It's a bit disappointing, really, because when you watch a test match, you want it to be even, I suppose, from day one, and it just felt like if you bat first, you're going to win. And the news is that I think the pitch is going to spin a bit more from day one. That's what I hear on things like Quick Info and all these other internet sources. But do you think that will make it a bit more even then if it spins a bit more from day one?
Um, yeah, I suppose it would actually. But yeah, it also depends on the quality of India spinners, right? I know Ashwin got 6 wickets in the first innings, but yeah, I don't think they have a decent second spinner really. I wasn't that impressed by Sundar or Nadeem, so hopefully that Jadeja. Well, I don't think Jadeja will be back, isn't it, for the second Test match? So I think there's just a lack of quality as well for Indian spinners, isn't it?
I think you're right. I think also India aren't as good at facing spin as what everyone keeps saying as well. I think that's the big thing that not many people talk about because just looking at the first test, you see how Rahane got out and people like Ashwin in the second innings and even Pujara in the second innings as well, kind of defending the ball and just being a bit tentative and pushing and prodding against the spinners. And people like Jack Leach did really well. So I think you're right. I think just the spin, facing the spin bowling is going to be a problem for India and England, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, definitely. England, I think best did relatively well, but Jake Leach wasn't that good, was he? I think he was getting sort of hit around the park in India's sort of first innings. So I think he went for like 100 in about 20 overs or something, or less. No, 100 in about 15 overs. So yeah, I think yeah, spins can be decisive, but I think both teams lack that outstanding like top class spinner, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose just thinking on the spinners then for a bit is quite interesting to talk about the spinners. Obviously, Ashwin's going to play, but there's rumours that Akshar Patel might make it into the team instead of Nadeem because Nadeem was very, I don't know, there wasn't anything interesting about Nadeem. I don't know what you made of him. He just kind of bowled it pretty kind of basic around off stump. He didn't seem to do anything.
No, yeah, I didn't really have much to say about Nadeem. Um, yeah, I think just a surprising choice or selection, isn't it? I still would have picked Siraj, even if conditions favoured spinners. I would have still picked Siraj in this situation.
Yeah, I think Siraj had a lot of momentum, didn't he, as well, from Australia, and quite a good attacking bowler. He's a bit like Kagiso Rabada, I think, of South Africa. Hits the ball, throws the ball really nicely on a good length, and hits the bat really hard. So maybe instead of Ishant Sharma as well, do you think? Or is that a bit too much of a big call?
Yeah. So I think Ishant Sharma probably would have retained his place in my sort of 11. So yeah, I think that would have been a big call to have dropped Ishant Sharma. He's actually been bowling quite well, hasn't he, over the last year or so?
Yeah, I quite like watching him bowl as well. He's got quite good action, hasn't he, Sean? And he didn't do too bad really against England there in the first innings. Pitch wasn't doing anything, so yeah, he couldn't have done much more than that. But with the spinners then, so what do you think? Akshar Patel, do you think that would be a good move for India? Or is he? He's a bit of an IPL player, isn't he, Akshar Patel? I don't think I don't really think he's that much of a kind of, well, he's never played Test cricket before, but he just comes across as a bit of a T20 player to me. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, I think he does sort of come across the T20 player. Yeah, he's more sort of attacking, isn't he? As such,
Yeah,
so
even with the bat as well,
yeah,
he's quite attacking, isn't he?
yeah, exactly. I mean, it's not really a bad thing, but it can, well, I think he just needs to sort of be quite smart on how he or assess the situation a bit better, isn't it?
Yeah, I think if he comes in, it's going to be a bit of a problem though with the balance because do you think if he comes in for Nadeem, then they play Washington Sundar at 7 again, is it? Or
Yeah, I would have thought so, but I don't. I mean, I literally, to be fair, I mean, that's what you got to think about. Is Sundar meant to be there for his batting or bowling? I know he got 85 in the first innings, but I mean, is that is still enough for him to cement his place in the team? Do they need the extra bowler, isn't it? So it's a bit of a sort of odd situation, isn't it?
yeah, because if you have Sundar at 7 and then Ashwin at 8 and then Akshar Patel at 9, it just feels like the batting's a bit too long, isn't it? Because Akshar Patel
Yeah,
can bat a
exactly.
bit. Uh,
Yeah.
well, unless they drop Sundar, you think at 7 and bring Akshar in at 7.
So with Axel Patel, I think he's better at as just limited overs cricket as opposed to Test match cricket. I don't think he'll bring any value. I can't see him getting even a 4 wicket haul, to be quite honest. So if it was a choice between Sundar and Patel, I would still retain Sundar. But yeah, I don't know if there's other spinners around, like Chahar or those sort of. I did like Chahar as a spinner,
Yeah, he's around, but I think the noise is that Akshar Patel will get a nod
Mm.
ahead, the head. And on our slide here, we can see we've got Patel in as one of our key players, and that's simply because he's a bit of an unknown, isn't he? He's never played Test cricket, and if he does get into the team, he might provide a bit with the bat and the ball. And his fielding's meant to be quite good as well, isn't it? So maybe he's a bit of a mystery guy there for India.
Yeah, I mean, if he can replicate what Jadeja's capable of doing, then yeah, would be a good choice, isn't it?
Yeah. So I think they've got not much other option really because they can't play Nadeem again, can they?
No, I wouldn't bother giving him a second chance. It's a crucial test match, so not worth it, isn't it?
Yeah, I wasn't impressed at all, as I say. And he was bowling a lot of no balls as well, which is a bit weird. I'm not sure why that was happening.
Yeah, probably just probably just nervous, isn't it? Probably very
Yeah,
nervous.
probably. So yeah, key players. So we've got Kohli and Gill as our key batting players as well, and R Sharma as well. What do you make of these guys? They're going to be big players, aren't they, in the next game?
I would like to think so, but Rohit Sharma's disappointed me quite a bit since the tour of Australia. So yeah, I suppose it's overdue a massive score, but is that going to be the case? I mean, there's someone like Agarwal, you know, will warrant his sort of place in the team. Does he deserve another chance, isn't it?
Well, I think it's interesting with Sharma because he's been in and around the team for so long, hasn't he? And I think now the Indian selectors are saying we've had enough of just having you in and around the team. It's time for you to actually be in the team, and we're going to give you a long run. And if you don't deliver in this long run, then you're gone for good from Test cricket. And if he doesn't deliver much in the next few games, then I just struggle to see why they want to keep persisting with him at the top of the order. Whereas you say, when there's Agarwal and maybe even Preeti Shaw, to be honest, could come back into the team.
Yeah.
They've got some choices there, haven't they? So overdue a score, so that's why we have him as key player here. And fair enough, I suppose. Let's see how he does. And Kohli, what do you think of Kohli? He did well in the second innings, didn't he?
Yeah, he did well. Just a good captain's performance. I think he was continue to score runs in the second test match. So yeah, definitely a key player.
massive player, isn't he? And I think if he does well, then India have a good chance to level the series. And there's going to be a bit of pressure on Kohli there as well because he's lost quite a few games as captain, hasn't he now? And he needs to start winning some matches as captain.
Yeah, exactly. Then you got Rohane, you know, batting straight after him, who's had a successful tour of Australia as captain. So yeah, you know, he should sort of be a bit apprehensive and a bit worried, you know, that his sort of batting partner is doing a well, it seems to have been doing a better job, isn't it? At this moment in time.
Yeah, just on Rahane, it's a bit worrying his form because he struggled in the first match, and we've got him down here as a bit of a challenge for India because they need a good number 5. And there's moments where Rahane bats and you just think this guy can bat, but why is he not scoring enough runs consistently? Don't you think?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he needs to score hundreds more often, isn't it? Or at least 80 runs plus. So it is a bit concerning, isn't it? I mean, someone of that experience and vice captain and whatnot. I mean, you should have much more input in the team's performance, isn't it?
Yeah, and I hope there's motivation here because Kohli recently in an interview he mentioned that Rahane is a big player for India and him and Pujara are the main 2 batsmen. But when he's saying things like that, I don't know if some of these players get a bit complacent and they think, oh, my captain's saying this, so maybe I don't need to bother scoring hundreds. Because you know, like the competition side of things, do you think if there was a real competition for Rahane at number 5, do you think he might be a bit more kind of focusing on batting and scoring more runs? Do you think there's a bit of an issue there?
Yeah, there could be an issue there. Yeah, it's definitely in terms of like focus and concentration. So, but I mean, as professional sort of cricketers, you know, and there's so many other like batsmen in the Indian sort of setup. I'm surprised some of these players don't take the opportunity, isn't it? I mean, you still got people like Vihari who could probably come back and perform much better in India, isn't it? So pretty sure, as we mentioned, you might just do better in home conditions. So I think people like Rohit Sharma or Rahane, you know, I think they need to just sort of fix up a bit, isn't it?
Yeah, they just need to be more committed and motivated to score tough runs, I suppose. And I think if someone like Kohli was to say all these places in the team are up for grabs and no one's space is guaranteed, maybe these guys might be a bit more motivated and they might think, well, actually, hold on a minute. If I don't score runs, then some other guy could come into the team and take my spot. So maybe there needs to be a bit of a shift in attitude. Who knows? But it'll be interesting to see. Very interesting because these guys can't keep scoring minimal runs for long periods of time, can they? And Ashwin as well. He's a key player, isn't he? Because just on the spinners again, he was a big spinner for India in the first test, and can't see any other spinner trumping him really, can we?
No. He had a good sort of outing, isn't it? In the first test match. Yeah, they at this moment in time, there's no one in India that could probably be selected over him or probably even perform better than him.
No, exactly. And then the obvious player here, Bumrah, he's going to be a big player as well, isn't he? Again, he's going to be. You'd imagine he'd be in the wickets again because there's not going to be many more pace bowlers bowling as good as him in this match.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I mean, I expect him to have another good performance, and yeah, pick up probably a 4 wicket haul. You know, something more sort of better better for the team, much more wickets. So yeah, I think we've yet to see the best of Bumrah.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think just going to the toss, because we've noted the challenges here with the toss. I think if India win the toss and bat first, I think you'll see a massive different uh, outcome in the match. I think you'll see India winning quite easily, to be honest. And that's a challenge itself because if they lose the toss, they need to be able to have a plan B, and hopefully the pitch spins a bit more for them. Because if it does, then England are going to struggle.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely they need a plan B. It doesn't seem like they have a plan B. So yeah, even just back to like someone like Gil, isn't it, as well? Um, yeah, I've been quite impressed by Gil, haven't you, in terms of opening the batting? Although he's not really gone on to score the big runs, he's sort of settling well, isn't he, in the top order?
Yeah, quite good. I'm a little bit disappointed with some of the ways he's getting out. Like in the first innings, in the first test, he hit that straight drive to James Anderson in the air. You'd think a test opener would be a bit more selective with the way he hits the ball, and you just feel like he could probably do a bit more in terms of just playing a bit safely and just cashing in a lot. When he gets to 50, he wants to be getting 100, really, doesn't he? He doesn't want to get out at 50. So yeah, a little bit disappointed with that, but overall, seems like a good player, definitely.
Yeah, I think at 21, I think he would probably just learn how to keep his wicket, isn't it? But
Yeah.
right now, at his age, he seems quite impressive, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah, definitely a bit more interesting to see him than Prithvi Shaw at the top of the order.
Yeah,
I think he's taken over Prithvi's uh, prestige at the top of the order. But just on the Plan B point, because that's quite a good
yeah,
point, and I suppose Plan B for India, from my perspective, would be to have a good range of spinners in the team because I struggle to see India bowling England out with quick bowlers, don't you?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's. I mean, that first inning was quite draining, isn't it, from India's perspective? England's first innings, that is. I mean, I couldn't actually believe that they couldn't get Joe Root out. I mean,
Yeah.
that was unbelievable, really. I mean,
Uh,
I think in our previous videos, I mean, we thought Root would be a key player, but not getting a 200 plus score in the first innings after his sort of abysmal showing in Sri Lanka. So.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just because they were over reliant on say Bumrah and Ashwin, and then you had the likes of Ishant Sharma coming back, and the other two, Sundar and Nadeem, probably not up to test bowling standards yet, but you know, got to blame Indian selectors for that.
Yeah, well, I think the pitch is a massive issue though as well because the first few
Yes.
days there was hardly anything, and I think this time around the pitch will spin a lot more, and I think
Yeah.
I'd expect a low scoring match to be honest. I think the pitch is a lot, it spins from day one.
Yeah, exactly. It should be interesting. Should be very interesting.
Yeah.
Saying that, let's hope it's not a quick test match, like a 4 day test match. You don't
Yeah.
really want that to end very that soon.
No, I think India's best shot would be playing a few spinners. Maybe they could look at playing at least three spinners and just trying to bowl a bit more attacking and field a bit more attacking as well with their positions. Because I think Kohli was a bit defensive at times, wasn't he, when England were batting?
It was just a typical sort of tactics, just defensive. Like Rahane in Australia, who sort of mixed it up a little bit, had a little sort of innovation. But it would be good to see Kohli just maybe think outside the box, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Absolutely. So yeah, let's see. Let's move on to England then now, I suppose. Key players. So you've already talked about Root. Obviously, Root's going to be another big player, but do you see Root scoring more runs again? Because I feel as though Root is had his. I feel as though he's had his good game now, and he scored a lot of runs in the first game. But I struggle to see him scoring runs again, don't you?
I can see him getting runs. The second innings because it's actually just played in the same venue, so
Hmm.
but I can't see him getting that substantial amount of runs again. I can see him probably get a 50 plus, 70 plus score, but I think that was just a one-off. It was just I wouldn't say a fluke, but just a bad bowling performance from India. So, but Root will still be the main man, isn't it, in batting?
Yeah, I think so. I think he got a bit lucky as well, just with the pitch again. Just keep
Yeah,
banging on about the pitch, but it was really flat
yeah,
when I was
yeah,
watching
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
I
Yeah,
remember,
it was quite.
yeah, I remember watching it like 6 in the morning, and it was literally like watching a bowling machine, or just someone playing cricket on driveway or a road or something. It was just flat, no movement at all. So yeah, bit lucky there. But I see your points though, because he's used to the ground now, and maybe he'll score a few runs, but I just don't see him scoring a century. And Stokes, do you think Stokes might be a bit better? I think he's a key player, and he always is, isn't he, Stokes?
Yeah, Stokes is like, I don't think any performance really affects the next performance. He did get quite a lot of runs in the first innings. He got 80, 83 or something like that. Yeah, he was going to contribute in either batting, bowling, or fielding. So I think Stokes will always be a key player at any time, isn't it?
Yeah, it's even in the fielding, isn't it, as well, where he's so good and just makes up. So he's basically it's like having two players in the team when you have Stokes with a bat, or if it's not necessarily the ball, even in the field, he really does provide a lot of dimension to the team. So he's going to be massive, and we've got Moeen Ali here as well, because we talked about Moeen Ali, didn't we, in our previews before the series started, and we kind of thought he might be quite a good handy player for England. And you never know if he gets into the team this time around. I think he could be quite an important player then.
Yeah, I mean, Leach didn't really have the best time, did he? So it might even be worth having, a go at replacing Leach for Ali, see how that goes, or just adding Ali in as a third spinner, isn't it? So, but yeah, Ali, yeah, I think, yeah, I mean, he's had recent experience in India in the IPL, so that will benefit him. So, and he can bat quite well, especially in the lower order. So, I think that would be quite a good selection if that was so.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if he came in instead of Dom Bess, which might sound a bit crazy, but there are rumours that they're thinking about it in the England camp, having Ali in. And Bess did reasonably well with his statistics, but people kind of feel as though he got a bit lucky with some of his wickets as well, like the way Pujara got out in the second innings. And there were a few other wickets that he got, which were a bit kind of, I suppose, a little bit fortunate with the way he got them. So maybe Ali could come in instead of him. Who knows?
Yeah, either or. Yeah, I think Ali would be probably the preferred spinner, to be honest. So yeah,
But the
Ali, yeah.
biggest, go on.
Oh no, yeah, no. I was going to say, yeah. It's even though it's advisable to keep the same team, albeit the ones that have gone home and injured. But I think Ali would just be a risk that would pay off, isn't it?
Yeah, be interesting to see how they go about it. Really, the Indian selectors. I think it feels as though they're trying to promote this whole rotation policy thing, and they're trying to bring different players in and take people out, rest them. And as we know with the keepers, that's happening, isn't it? Because Butler's going off, and we've got Ben Foakes coming into the team, which I don't see Ben Foakes being much of a worrying name for India. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's just that's just bizarre. I mean, is there any need to have a rotation? I mean, yeah, thanks. I mean, yeah, he'd probably be lucky to score 30 runs plus, So I think he would just be good at wicket keeping. I think his wicket keeping might be quite good, but his batting probably not. So I don't think India's going to bother. I think they'll just be like easy pickings, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't see exactly. I don't see him being any danger to India, and I think the biggest talking point for England is the fact that Archer's not going to be playing. He's injured, isn't he? So, what do you make of that? Do you think England have other choices that they can bring in? Or?
Yeah, they got Stuart Broad or Mark Wood. Even are not in shortage of supply of fast bowlers.
Yeah, I feel as though Stuart Broad could come in and be a bit of a handful, to be honest, because he's got a bit of a reputation for doing well when his back's been against the wall, hasn't he, Stuart Broad? And I'm be surprised if he came in and got some reverse swing and got a few wickets.
Yeah, he did that, I think, against West Indies in the summer, isn't it? I think he didn't play in the first Test match, and when he was recalled for the second Test match, I think he nearly got like a 10 for. I think he got his 400th wicket. I think he had a great. He might have nearly got man of the series after that. So yeah, as you say, he'll probably just come back with a point to prove and cause probably a bit of issues to India, isn't it?
Yeah, so that's a bit of a worry for India because Archer's replacement will probably be quite good. But again, another challenge for England is the toss, because I think if England lose the toss and they bowl first, they're basically going to be in the mire from the first ball, aren't they? Because I think India are going to end up scoring quite a few runs, aren't they?
Yeah, I would think so. I would, if they win the toss. Yeah, I could see India getting over 500 in the first innings, like in England did. So yeah, the toss is this all about the toss again.
I think so. So I suppose if we're just kind of concluding it all, then do we think India are going to be able to bounce back, or?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think India will still win the series even after this setback. I think India will win the series 2-1.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, I think India will win the series as well. Not very surprising, I suppose, because although they lost the first match, I don't think England will be able to keep winning these matches, and I think India are going to come back, and I think the pitch is going to spin a bit more. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was a lower scoring match, and I wouldn't be surprised if India and England both didn't do all that well with the bat, but the spinners took a heap of wickets. So let's see, but it will be very entertaining viewing again, because the first match, even though it was a little bit one-sided, there were moments where it was quite enthralling to watch, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was quite interesting. And yeah, I know England didn't score too highly in their second innings, nor did India in their second innings. But yeah, there was interesting parts, and yeah, the pitch and things like that did add interest.
Yeah, exactly. So all to play for, and thanks all for watching this video. Make sure you keep following our channel and keep having a look at our videos and commenting and liking and all that, because plenty more interesting topics and debates coming up as well. And thanks all again. Cheers.